Oh, I think it's one of the greatest challenges of transcribing works for any instrument, whether it's orchestra to piano or for the organ. I think there's a fundamental decision that has to be made first, is what can we say about the piece on the instrument? So there are a lot of works I would love to play on the organ because they're works that I love for orchestral forces. You know, they're some of my favourite pieces of music, but I know deep down that the organ can't do it justice and it wouldn't have something new to say about the piece. I think when I decided with my father, who's my wonderful co-transcriber in this project, we sat for a long time discussing whether this piece would work, whether you physically have enough hands and feet and limbs and sounds and keyboards to make it work. And so it's sometimes a process. There are some times where I've started a transcription and got halfway through or 2/3 of the way through and realised that it's not going to work. But with this piece, there were certain elements that we thought could make it work. There was always a clear melody. There were moments to just use all the beautiful orchestral sounds of the Dobson organ that is so good. The organ is so good at doing that, and that was very much what it was built for. So I think you need to be able to say something new about the piece and interpret the piece rather than just pasting an orchestral score onto the organ and kind of making it work. So it took a long time. The process is very time consuming, and my father, who was a bassoonist in the BBC Symphony for many years, we've done many projects together, Mendelssohn and Brahms, and this Elgar was no different in that he looked at the orchestral score and he knows the piece very well from an insider point of view, having played it a million times in his career. And he initially came up with a score that was completely unplayable. And so he sent me his thoughts, put them down on paper and see what can be done. And I would go through and say, that can't be done, I can't stretch that, the organ won't sound good in that register, or whether it won't, you know, and actually what you end up with is a remarkably simple score because there's a lot you have to take out. So it's a fine balance between having enough of the detail to make it a recognisable piece, the piece you're trying to recreate, but also quite literally transcribing it for the organ. So having a fresh approach to it and knowing that it'll sound different, you know, but beautiful in its own right.